Hi guys, today I wanted to show you my installed Wasserstein Aqua Pal leak detector. So here we have it. I had a plumber installing this device. Unfortunately, I can't tell you that it was a super easy job. My plumber had to go 2 or 3 times to Home Depot and buy new parts. But as far as I noticed, it was not the most experienced plumber. So probably a more experienced plumber could do it easier. I mean, the whole set comes with everything what you usually need. Comes also with 2 adapter pieces, left and right, 3/4 inch to 1 inch. And so I have it here installed that the water is coming in. Then we have the water leak detector. And after that, I have the whole home water filtration system. So in case anything goes wrong, the thing bursts or so, this would stop the leak then. And because I'm only filtering the water for the inside of the home, the water leak detector also works only for the inside and not for the outside. Even though the device is waterproof, the recommendation is actually to install it inside, but in my case it was not possible, so I decided to install it outside, and it looks like it's working, at least till now. The thing is running since about 2 weeks. We had a couple of times light rain, and so far there was no problem. So let's get a little bit closer here. So for some reason my plumber has decided to install it upside down. So the control panel is underneath now, but there are actually just 2 buttons. One is to start, stop. I mean, I can start and stop the water directly from here. I hope you can see that. I can just push here, and then, yeah, it's a little bit hard to hear. It's not very loud, but the valve is definitely closing. I think now you can hear that. It takes a couple of seconds, I think, around 10 seconds or so, and now there's no water flowing anymore. And to turn it on, I can just push here again. Yeah, you hear now it's starting to flow. Here on the other side we have the reset for the Wi-Fi on the left side, and on the right side we have 2 unions. So in any case I have to do something in between, I can replace that easily. That's also a good thing. And regarding the power, you can see it's nicely water protected, goes with a very long cable. I mean, that's an included long cable, goes all the way here to this outside receptacle. I've replaced the original power supply here with a 90 degrees one, so it can go through the opening down here, and so I can nicely close it again. As you can see, it works really good till now here outside. And so I wanted to show you here how this really works. So I have the app here. By the way, connecting the device was super easy. Just hold the Wi-Fi reset button for 5 seconds, starts blinking, then click on the plus here and you have it already. And so here a little bit more information about the app. So here we have the list of devices. We click here and we have a live view. We see the current temperature of the water, or if there's no water flowing, of course, that would be the temperature of the water leak sensor. Then we have the current pressure. We see also the current flow rate. We see the valve if it's on or off. Then the total consumption since the last reset. And on the right top, we have even options for third-party integration. I haven't done this now. Create groups, get more device information, share the device with other people. But of course, a lot of interesting information we find down here. First in the history, where you can see the water usage. Here we have the daily overview. So when we click on something, that means we can see the consumption for each hour. We cannot dig down more, so that's the smallest amount of time where we have some data when we go back. Then same thing when we have the months. We can click on the daily numbers here. And also for the year, so we can click and see the monthly consumption. And same thing with the water pressure. Very interesting to see here what's going on. But we also have to click here to see change in water pressure. And same thing with the water temperature. But of course, since the water is not always running, this is of course not representing the water temperature in a lot of time, but only then the air temperature. Then here the manual leak detection, turn off all water and test it. That has been working very reliable so far, but we have to do it manually. It's not running all the time. and then some settings. Here the reset. But we can create a lot of alarms, like temperature alarms, so we can set some maximum and minimum numbers. Same thing for the pressure. We can create an alarm if the pressure is too low or too high. And same thing for the flow rate. For example, we can limit that, and when there's more flow, we get an alert. And here we have the alarm records. You can see we definitely get these alarm records. But we can't do anything from that. It's just alerts. We cannot program any actions based on that. Then the units for temperature, pressure, and flow rate. And there's definitely no flow visible. And as soon as I start the water, you can see it takes just 1 or 2 seconds. And then we see the flow rate here shows around 55, 56 gallons per hour. I've tested that and it was pretty close. Maybe not a scientific thing, but pretty close or close enough. And so what we can do, we can shut off the valve, the outside valve now. It takes a couple of seconds, again based on the instructions, about 10 to 12 seconds. And so it keeps flowing for a couple of seconds, but now already reducing the flow and going to zero. It already has closed the valve outside. There's just a little bit of water dripping here from the remaining water in the line, but it has completely stopped. Just a few drops here from the faucet. Other than that, has completely stopped. And so I can turn it on again. Also takes a couple of seconds to start the water inside. So we are waiting for that. Now you can see resuming the water back to full pressure. So I stop this here for the moment. And so of course, because it's called leakage detector, the question is what can it do regarding that for us? And so let's start the water here a little bit flowing. You can see not much. Maybe I can turn it on even a little bit more. I hope you can still understand me. Here we can see the water flowing 3.9, 8.2. I've turned it down again a little bit and you can see it shows 0. So it has a hard time to detect very slow water flowing, something like that. It's not a lot of water, but it can definitely add on over time. So let's check here for the leak. So here's the leak detection here running. It says it can take a while. And here you can see it says water leaks detected in some places. That's really good. Even with very low water flowing and even with showing 0. So it somehow detects also lower flow, but it doesn't show it because it has just 1 digit here. And what we also can see here, it has automatically stopped the water now. But this has only happened because we have clicked on leak detection. And so let's turn on the water again. And so I've reduced the water flow, and so I let it run now for an hour to see if it does something. Maybe it would identify this as a leak because it's running constantly at the same pace. By the way, there was one instance when it has detected a water leak automatically. That happened when our plumber installed the new shower. So he had to turn off the whole home water supply, and since he didn't know that we have this Wasserstein Aqua Pal, he turned it off with the normal lever, and because of that the Aqua Pal detected that there was 0 pressure, could be a water leak, turned off the valve, and after the installation of the shower the plumber turned on the water again, but not here of course, and there was no water flowing. Plumber came desperately to me and told me there's no water here in the home, and so I figured it could be the Aqua Pal. And I saw the red icon, just pushed here and opened the valve and we had the water again. So it definitely has some automatic leak detection. And so I've let the water flow now for a little bit more than an hour. You can see sometimes it shows the water flow, sometimes accurately, sometimes it shows 0, sometimes has been showing even high. So I think it's not perfect for showing very low flow amounts, but on the positive side it still detects how much water is flowing. So even when it shows 0 and it flows like that, you can still see the difference over time. So for example, if you're away and you want to check for leaks, then you would still see the difference. Of course, you can also make the leak check like that. And also here detection that water is slowly flowing. So you could close the valve directly here from the app, even though you're not at home. That's a huge advantage. But it won't stop the water automatically, no matter what settings you are using. I wished we would have some kind of automatic thing where you could also maybe set a maximum per hour, per minute, per week, something like that. And if we exceed this amount, then it would stop automatically. So it's more like a leak detection and not a leak prevention system, unless we have a major pipe burst or so. So again, overall, I would say it was not a super easy installation. Regarding the history, it's very, very interesting. Could definitely be a little bit easier to use because we don't have any indication here how much we are using. We have to click on the single days because there's no indicator here. Also, for example, no average, no highest, lowest, but still a lot of information, for example, on the water pressure, also temperature, total amount of usage, and what I've seen looks like it's pretty accurate. To see how accurate the water consumption reading is, I've compared this to the city water meter. And so I started when everything was turned off. You can see here we have a 1904.5 gallons. On the city water we had a 22.5, and then I've been flushing my toilet 2 times. And so here's the result. You can see it's on an 8.2. Before we had 4.5. That means consumption of 3.7 gallon. And here the result from the city water meter, 22.5. And at the end, 26.1 makes 3.6. Of course, it shows 1 digit more. But at the very end, it's a 3.6 compared to a 3.7 here from the Wasserstein Aqua Pal. So at least during this test, it was pretty accurate, quite impressive. So maybe it cannot prevent every possible leak, but at least we have something where we can check a lot. Definitely much better than just relying on the city water meter. I have also a good instrument here to save some water. For example, when checking at what time I'm using the most, I can see how much water I'm using in the shower, how much our children are using, amount of water you're using to fill up the pool, water the backyard. So definitely total new level of monitoring your water consumption, and even provides some possibilities to detect or even prevent some leaks. So till now I would say I'm really happy with it. And so if you're interested in this Wasserstein Aqua Pal, then you can find the link where you can buy it on Amazon in the description of the video, so you can check it out, the order one for you if you like it. And I hope I've been able to help you a little bit with this video. If you have any questions or comments or want to share your own experience with this device, then just let us know down in the feedback area. I'm always happy to talk about these things. And if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.